Hey you guys, I'm back. I went on a little hiatus. I wanted to talk to y'all about he's still possessed. Battery has been changed. Again, I need help me. I wanted to talk to y'all about this message that I got from my Madama a while ago, and it was on my mind today. Because when my spirits give me messages like this and they really put in that time, I try my best to hold on to it, and remember it. And this was a while ago. And of course, this involves a man. If you know anything about Madama spirits, especially if you have them in your court, you know they are very they with their hands on their hips, and they will rock their neck and talk out the side of their neck sometimes, because they do not fuck around when it comes to women and children in particular, or anyone that they protect, but women and children and families in general, that's like their thing, right? I was dating someone, and it's someone that when he was in his room and his mother or his sister would come in, he would act like they were like a problem. He would always talk down to them and be like, ugh, why the fuck are you bothering me? Like, what do you want? And then they try to tell him, nicely, and he'd be like, ugh, whatever, like, just very hostile, right? A lot of attitude when they were not being hostile to begin with. And his sister is pretty young. I'm not going to say how old she is because I keep everything private, but she's, not adolescent yet. And they would come into his room, offer him, food, water, or ask for help with something, or just want to talk about something. And he would be sitting there with the worst attitude towards them. But also expect and ask that they bring him water, bring him food, bring him a piece of bread, bring him whatever. Right? How are you going to talk down to somebody and ask them to do something for you in the same sentence? So, the first time it happened, I took note of it because Nikki is very observant, okay? My brain gets full sometimes, but I try to keep watch of important stuff. The first time I'm like, okay, everybody has bad days. When Daddy B was here, I would fight with him and we'd have bad days. Same thing with my brother. It's life, right? This happened about 3 or 4 times in a very short amount of time. And it happened one day, and I was on FaceTime with him, and I'm sitting here on the couch, right? And my Madama comes up to me. Because if you have a relationship with your spirits like that, you don't always have to go to your Bovada. Sometimes they just pop up, honestly. Because, in my opinion, my home is their home. So they can, as long as they don't disrupt me, and they're being good to me, do whatever you want. So she comes up to me, and she, with her hand on her hip, she's like, and obviously they're spirits, right? So they're not physically present. So I couldn't get closer to her. She was telling me to pay attention. So I'm like, yes. Like, what do you need to tell me? Like, what's going on? And she's like, how so-and-so, the guy, just treated his mother and his sister, and how he has treated them all those times before. Are you okay with him treating you that way? If y'all were to live together, get married, etc., settle down. And I said, Mama, of course not. Like, I don't call her Mama, I call her something else, but I was like, no ma'am. She's like, okay. You need to check him. Because don't be dumb. And don't think that he won't treat you that way in maybe a year. Maybe less if he gets too comfortable. But that's not okay. You need to stand up for the women, right? And you need to also, in a way, stand up for yourself because you don't want that in your life. And her message basically that she was trying to relay to me, and the one that she wanted me to talk to y'all about, is look at how the men in your life, particularly your partner, treat their mothers, their sisters, their aunts, whoever. But it's mostly the mother and the sister. Because those are going to be the two closest women to him and his family, normally. And ask yourself if you would like to be treated that way. And if not, check him. And I did. And this is another reason that my Madama came to me, because she looks out for families. And that little girl is going to grow up and start dating eventually. And if her dad talks to her that way, and her brother talks to her that way, and she's so used to it day in and day out, she's going to think that's okay. Right? So we have to stick up for children also. She's going to think that someone berating her, acting like she's a problem, acting like she's bothersome, but also asking and expecting her to do stuff. Like, do you see how fucked up that is? She's going to think that's normal. Poor baby. So when she's 16 years old and her boyfriend in high school is treating her like crap and expecting this and this and this from her, she's not going to know that it's damaging to her, because she doesn't know anything different. Because the fathers and the brothers and the male role models, if this girl is straight, right, have a big dynamic to do with how she deals with men. And I can say that 100% as a daddy's girl. Like, my dad treated me a certain way. I'm used to men treating me a certain way and doing certain things for me, and I expect that. Because thank God I had a good dad. He was not perfect, but he was a good father. And yeah, we have to look out for the children. And women in general, like it, even if you're at the grocery store and it's a female clerk. How does he treat that woman, or a waitress, or the lady at the post office? You know, like, you will notice if a man has a chip on his shoulder towards women. It's not very hard to spot. But don't sit there, just like my Madama was saying, don't sit there and think and be stupid and think that he won't treat you the same way when he gets good and comfortable. Right? And obviously I'm not dating this person anymore for a multitude of reasons. But that was something that I had to learn. Because when I was younger, I would have brushed it off and been like, oh, you know, he would never treat me that way. But I've seen it. And it's very real. And he knew, girl, he tried that shit with me a few times and lost me. Because of that and some other things that happened. But, I was not going to sit there and be talked down to. And you're asking me for something, like, be fucking for real. My spirits weren't going to have it either. Do y'all want to know? If your spirits do not like the person that you're dating, they will tell you and tell you and tell you how this person's energy and their actions are not good for you. If you're not seeing it, because maybe you were that girl that had hostile men in your family. Or maybe you had, you know, not a good mother. And you have a same-sex relationship. Like, and you don't know any better. And you have a good relationship with your spiritual court, they will let you know because they look out for you, right? You giving them water and candles and prayer and attention, love, praying for the elevation, all of that, that helps them. So in turn, they're going to protect you. They're going to try to look out for you. They cannot literally jump, if you can get really possessed, I guess they maybe could mount you and break up with the person, but eventually you would come to. But my point is, they can only go so far. But I can tell you this from experience. They will raise hell in your relationship if they don't like the person. Just like if they do like the person, because I can speak on this too, because not all my boyfriends have been bad. I've had some good ones that just... Nikki was immature. We've moved on. But this one that I'm talking about was not a good boyfriend. All tea, all shade. They will bless them. They will bless them and love them like they are you. Because they know that you care about this person. So your blessings are their blessings and vice versa. So they want to take care of both of you guys. But they will also raise hell in y'all's relationship if this person is not good for you. It just comes with the territory, especially if you're a medium, okay? And they will literally want to put your head between the washer and the dryer when you're not listening. I'm not telling y'all anything I don't know for a goddamn fact that I have lived for like years now. And it's very real. And when you love someone, especially when they accept who you are spiritually, right? They might not practice like you do, and that's fine. But when they support it, and at least are interested in learning, because they want to get to know you, right? Your spirits are going to love them. And you also have eyes on that. You also have eyes on that person 25/8. And you don't have to do a damn spell to get it. Because they're going to try to protect you. And same thing goes for you. You know? They're going to look out for them too and be like, girl, don't text that ex-boyfriend back of yours. You know you're in a relationship. Don't do it. Or don't cheat. Excuse me. Because what they expect from your partner, they also expect from you. And I'm not going to say that dating has gotten easier since I've been spiritual. I mean, I guess it has. But I definitely enjoy having my spirits there to look out for me because obviously I'm not codependent on them. I make my own decisions. But it's just like my mother or my aunt or someone else in my physical family. If they don't like something that's going on around me, they will tell me, right? Because they love me and they're looking out for me. So when you have that relationship with your spirits, they're going to look out for you. And they will prepare you while they are raising hell. And they will be there to pick up the pieces. Because just because you're spiritual does not mean that it's all like, oh, I am a witch today, I just became a witch yesterday, and I'm going to meet my husband tomorrow because I'm a witch. It doesn't work that way. We have to go through shit. Because maybe I wasn't able to learn these lessons in a past life. Because maybe because of how sexist society was, maybe to survive I had to depend on that man. Right? So I couldn't learn these lessons because I may not have had a choice. And that's okay. Like, be grateful for the good times and when things were good between you and that person, but if it falls apart, it falls apart. And if you are someone that wants marriage and a family and all these good things, you have to think, like, am I okay with him treating me this way? If I have a daughter, am I okay with him treating her how he treats his sister? Because the ex-boyfriend that I'm talking about, his little sister is not even a teenager. So there's nothing that she could have done at her age to deserve being treated the way that he was treating her. Now, the mother, I don't know, but still. Generally, it's not okay to treat your mom like crap. And I think that women get so wrapped up in the fantasy and wrapped up in, the sweet talking and the pillow talking and the good pee-pee, the lightning rod, that they just put up with anything. And I've been there. Girl, I'm not telling y'all shit that I don't know like the back of my hand. And it takes time, to get there and see things more clearly. And if you have this issue in your life, I'm not expecting you to just break up with that man tomorrow. But these are things that you need to keep in your head, because eventually it's going to snowball and it's going to add up. And you're going to be like, I can't even imagine a life with you anymore, sir. Because you're just a dick. And that's his unhealed shit. Maybe there is trauma between him and his mother. Maybe she did mistreat him when he was younger or something. He needs to work through that. You can pray for him. You can light candles for his healing if your spirits say it's okay. You can sometimes talk to him about stuff, but you're not a therapist and you're not a rehab center. Because think about the spirit that this message is coming from. What did Madamas do when they were here? They were the healers. They were the comforting, motherly and feminine force in the household. Unfortunately, most of them were slaves. But they held that household together. You best believe. And they are so loving, but in the most strongest way. Because that's Big Mama. And you have to think, when you have these spirits, think about what they went through. You're not going to know everything that they went through, but if you do your research and you sit with them, you're going to have a general idea of where they came from, how they lived, what their abilities were, what their job was. And there's a reason that they're fighting for women and families to be okay. And if you are lucky enough to have them in your court and to have that guidance, don't use it in vain. Like, this is a perfect example of me using my spirituality to try to help a situation that in the long term I have nothing to do with. And as far as I know, he did not listen to a damn thing that I said. But I tried. Nikki tried many times to make that light bulb go off and be like, that little girl looks up to you, sir. You're her big brother. Act like it. You don't have to wash her feet and pamper her and things like that, but just be nice to her. I said, she's trying to spend time with you. She's trying to connect with you. Maybe she misses your dad. Maybe he's working all the time. And you're like her next thing, right? because she is so young. I'm so tired of women being disrespected. And women are not perfect, okay? There are many bad women on this earth. But the way that society has been and has been set up, and the direction that things are going, y'all don't give a damn about women. And y'all wonder why we have to be so masculine. Because who's going to defend us? We have to defend ourselves. Way more than we should have to. Because either men should be defending us, to an extent, right? Or we should not have to protect ourselves so much and all the time. But we have to. And he's lucky I wasn't there that day, that I finally snapped. And I was like, quit treating them that way, because I will kick you in your throat. And if he ever talked to me that way, when I was like living with him or something, girl. And your spirits know. Okay, your spirits know your limits. They know. And that's why they will try and try and try to pull you out of a situation if you need to get out of it. Because they can see the beginning, the middle, and the end. And I live my own life. I'm Nikki. I'm my own person. Like, I am not spiritual all day, every day. As y'all can see, I was on a FaceTime call with my boyfriend at the time. Just minding my business. You know, chilling on the couch. Talking to my boo. No candles were lit, nothing. And boop, 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 boop. She came out and was like, look, girl. Put your thinking cap on. And that's their job, is to guide us through life. They can't drive the car for us, just like nobody else can. But they can guide us and keep us on the right path if we choose to listen. And that, that's not the first example. I mean, my spirits are always trying to help people in my life. Especially if I love you and I care about you. I don't even have to ask them. I do pray for the people in my life, and I thank God and my spirits for giving them to me and everything. But if something's going on, like, they're there. And I've had elders and mentors and stuff in the past that their spirits did the same thing for me. Even well after that mentor or elder was out of my life, they still were doing things to look after me, and I appreciate that. Because we're all connected, and especially as women, like, we have to look out for each other, and we have to hold men accountable. I'm not saying be super bitchy and, hate men, because we do need them, unfortunately. And when I say need them, I mean, like, procreate, keep the human species going, all that type of thing. But stand up for women. Even if you don't know her, look out for other women. If you're in a bar and you see a girl in a fight with her boyfriend and he starts putting his hands on her or shoving her or, shaking her on her shoulders, if you feel like it's safe for you, physically, go over there. Or act like you dropped an earring or something and you need her help to find it. And then when she walks over there, ask her, be like, girl, are you okay? Do you need me to call you an Uber? Do you need me to sit with you? Is he being mean to you? Like, it is the best feeling in the world when a woman that you don't know from a can of paint genuinely looks out for you, because she knows how it is. And that's her job. So that was my little rant or message of the day from my Madama. And Nosy Progresso Aya, like, I love her so much. And your spirits really want you to make a difference in this world, even if it's a small one. You know, all we can do as mediums is be the medium, the messenger, the median between humans and spirits, right? And communicate and be a vessel. That's all you can do, besides spell work and candles and prayer and all that. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. An old saying that we have in the South. And if you gave a message that you feel like you were meant to share with that person so that they could improve as a human being, and they don't take it, that is not your fault. And it's not your job either to try to get it through their head. Because you can only help people as much as they want to help themselves, and some people don't want to grow. That's okay. Leave them where they are. Eventually, when you're ready. Because you will outgrow people. Like, excuse me, especially if you're a spiritual woman. I have hiccups and I'm trying to hold them in. I don't know what's going on. Especially if you're a spiritual woman and you're with a man that doesn't really practice or anything, and he's not really trying to grow and heal and stuff. I'm not saying it's worthless, because you will learn a lot, and you'll learn a lot about yourself, and it's a growing experience, but it will get to a point where y'all just don't mesh anymore, because he's not connecting. Even, there are spiritual men that don't even put in the work. It's just men, because they refuse to heal, a lot of them. Some of them are God's gift to earth, and they heal their shit, and they try to be a better person. And those are the men that I really love and care for. That recognize that they need to heal, and respect women, and trying to make the earth a better place. So, I'm gonna get off here. I love y'all. Bye.